Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
I just got three things to say. God bless our troops. God bless America. And gentlemen, start your engine!
It was in 1992 when Ralph Sanchez began organizing construction of the region's first major league motorsports facility here in South Florida. And here tonight for Season 2 of the QSR Chase for the Cup, it's Homestead Miami Speedway, live on V-Speed. Welcome in, everybody. I'm your host, Bradley Cooper. It's a quiet night for me tonight. I'll be here all alone, but bringing you flag-to-flag coverage as we have all season long of the QSR Chase for the Cup, and these Gen 4 cars about to square off tonight from Homestead in Miami, Florida. It looks like it's all but locked up as we take a look at the points. Jeremy Burnz has a 22-point lead over Daniel Molnex. Coming into tonight, mathematically, Daniel the only one with a chance, but maybe not enough cars here as we have about a field of 16 drivers, so it's going to be tight. Daniel Molnex needs Jeremy Burnz to have a really bad day if he wants to snag away and steal that championship. 6 wins, though, putting it all together to try to chase down what Jeremy Burnz has put together here in the 97 machine. He's going to start second with Daniel Molnex in third, so it'll be close right out of the gate as we get set to square off for 110 laps here tonight from Homestead. Race analysis up on your screen. Of course, 4 tire sets and the fixed iRacing setup. These Gen 4 cars very loose off the exits, especially in turn 4. Drivers will have to chase and push the entry of these corners to set up a pass if they want any shot of overtaking the high line. Going to be the dominant way around this racetrack for the most part as we square off to Homestead. 18 to 20 degree progressive banking, 4-corner oval. It's as simple as it gets here. Reconfiguration on the banking several times here at this racetrack since it first opened November 5th back in 1995. And here today, you're going to see a product of some great multi-groove racing, but a lot of horsepower to lay down. So we get set to square up your grid. let's get it trackside now. We'll get a chance to talk to some of these drivers. Starting on the pole here today, well, it's a driver that's gonna probably look back on this season as, well, we could have done better, but we started winning at the end. It's gonna be Galen Wunsch, starting on the pole with a 32.804 alongside Jeremy Burnz with a 32.868. Third spot, Daniel Monex, 32.871. So all those drivers really close, within a tenth of each other. Chuck Sweeting also in that 32.8 bracket, starting in the fourth spot. Top five here for Joseph Terciano. Trenton Wilkin will start in sixth. And this is where we start breaking into the 33-second lap times. Ronnie Joyner in seventh position with Wyatt Walker in the 85, going to start in eighth. And rounding out your top 10 here today, it's Quentin Stewart in the number 24 and Austin Dowdy in the 8th. Brent Allen will start in 11th position, Mike Petrin in 12th. 13th spot goes to Derek McMurchie with Ethan Wisnowski in 14th. 15th, Chris Nail, Bryson Witherspoon in 16th. And rounding out your 17th car field, it's Steve Mago in the number 83 machine. Well, as we go out onto the racetrack, perfect opportunity maybe to snag one of these drivers. What do you say we bring up QSR CEO? We just got to talk to him last week. Quentin Stewart up in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Hey, I got you, brother.
All right, real quick here. Second successful season here for QSR. You guys put together some great racing. Going to conclude the season after the DDoSing, all the things that had to happen. How excited are you to get this action underway?
Well, you know, we're always happy to be at Homestead, just kind of like what they did back in this era. It's been a great season. Got to say thank you to all of our drivers, the guys that have sponsored throughout the season, Butt Kicker as well. It's been awesome, and thank you guys so much at V-Speed for putting on a great show every week.
We appreciate your time getting ready to go green, so I'll throw you back up there. Quentin Stewart going to start in the 9th position here today as we get set to go green flag racing. 110 laps. That's roughly 160 miles here today as Galen Wunsch will lead them into turn 1 with your points leader on the outside. Green flag is out. We're live for season 2 finale at Homestead. By to lead lap number 1. Galen Wunsch holds on to the lead. Low line here as they start this thing out. You can see the 97 hugging it a little bit closer down there on the bottom, though. He is maintaining that gap, though, of about 0.4 of a second over the 97. Daniel Monex holding on to third. All these drivers in the top 5 rather, staying in their position. Joseph Terciano running the high line already as they go into turns 1 and 2. Right on board with him, already taking it up to the outside wall. You have to be careful not to do that too early here, though. It is faster up there in the long run, but if you run up there too early, you'll find yourself burning the right rear off of it. Car will get really loose as the run progresses. Back here pass for 9th position on the outside. Brent Allen gets around the 24 of Quentin Stewart. Austin Dowdy and Quentin Stewart both down 1 position. Dowdy all over the back bumper here as they come out of turn 4. An onboard look here with the number 8. So peek back to the inside. You can see Terciano up there on the outside. The 85 of Wyatt Walker, but here comes the 8 to the inside again. A little bit of a loose moment there. They get back down to the bottom of the racetrack, see if he can get any kind of traction. Quentin Stewart running that high line a little bit better. And they'll start pulling away from the 8 car. of Austin Dowdy. Mike Petrin just behind. He'll be the next one. These cars a little bit aero dependent, so you can see them stagger and offset to try to get air to the nose. Unfortunately, everyone kind of exits the corners the same way, regardless of what line you run here, outside or low. As you come out of these exits, you're going to get dirty air. You have to be careful if you're on the bottom of the racetrack that you don't send it up. As you see right there, Mike Petrin starting to slide up in front of Chris Nail and the 20 machine. Galen Wunsch pulling away though. He stretched it out to just over half a second. And Daniel Monex starting to chase down the 97 of Jeremy Burnz. We do have a camera with the number 2. Taken on board here with Daniel Monex. Just watched him here previously on Tuesday. Was having a stellar day. Had the points lead. Was tied for the points lead in the QSR Xfinity Series. Unfortunately, the race didn't go to plan. Ended up with a DNF. You'll have one race left to recover that lead. This will be going to Kansas there. But here tonight, the season's end for the chase of this Gen 4 series. Chuck Sweeting creeping up to the picture as well for this battle for second. Talked a little bit about Chuck Sweeting and the success that he's been putting together. Tuesday night was a great night for him. Got a top 3. Got him up there for the post race and within reach of doing that again here today. Not the first time we've had Chuck Sweeting up on the screen here on V-Speed, but hopefully not the last time either. Go further back to the 12 of Trenton Wilkin. He has Ronnie Joyner in 7th and 8th place here for these two drivers. Losing some time to Wyatt Walker, about 7/10 up there to 6th position, so spread out already here through the top 10. Top 4 have pulled away, about 2.5 seconds to Joseph Terciano, and then it's an even bigger gap back here, 4.5 seconds, back to 7th position from the lead. Laps keep ticking away. John Walker, kudos to V-Speed. Thank you very much. We appreciate that. Debbie, good to see you in the chat. Welcome in everybody here to Homestead. Chris Nail starting to work on the back end of Quentin Stewart. This is for the 9th position. On board with Chris. He's worked up 5 spots already. Looking to make it 6 here as he cracks the top 10. As far as lap times go, fastest car on the racetrack right now would be Chuck Sweeting by just a couple thousandths of a second, sitting in the 4th spot. But back here in 10th, the fall off has been tremendous. Some of these guys have started running that high line a little earlier than I would have predicted it. Cars like Brent Allen, who have lost 2 spots, they were up on the high line, and already they've lost back to 13th. They were up as high as 7th spot here from the 13 machine. Looks like Trenton Wilkin going to make a pass on the outside. Ronnie Joyner actually making the pass on the inside, rather, as he came out of turn 2, got to the inside. He'll get up to 7th now. And then Terciano still has Wyatt Walker trying to work by him. Lead is shaved back down now to 2/10. As we look off the back end of Galen Wunsch. 3 cars, hungry hippos behind him. Holnick's all over the back bumper. We'll look off the back of Jeremy Burnz with that Miller Lite Dodge. The scrape of the wall there from the 97. Molnix keeps the pressure on as they go into 3 and 4. Really stepping that back end out there for the 2 car. Drifts it up the racetrack. We got to get it on board here with the fan favorite, Jeremy Burnz. Tell you how difficult it is to get around this place. Watch and observe as he comes into the entry of this corner. He's going to brake as late as he possibly can. Drive it all the way down to the bottom and then just touch the throttle. Steering with the throttle. You can see the counter steer there to the right a little bit. You'll see him working that wheel back and forth to drift up this racetrack and keep this car underneath of them. This is not a track where you throttle out of the corner. As you see, Galen Wunsch gets a little loose, and there Burnz steps it out just slightly. You'll be seeing that all day long. Top 4. Could throw a blanket over it. All separated by less than 1/10 of a second. 14 laps complete here for the Season 2 finale. Walker did get around Joseph Terciano. He is now into the top 5, the 85. Once he got clear, is setting a much faster time than Terciano is. Faster by about 3/10 of a second, even. The Spree 85 looks to catch up to Chuck Sweeting. It's going to be a solid 4 seconds to catch up, though. See, Sweeting is actually moving it up the racetrack here. Trying to work that high line through 1 and 2. On board with the 75 here, and just moving it up the lane. Sometimes that's all it takes. What a handful these cars are. Was just recently on this racetrack in this car, and it is fun to drive, but it is a handful. You are walking the knife's edge every single lap. Every time you get back to that throttle, and these drivers know that it could be the moment they step it out too far. It looks like Burnz maybe makes a little mistake there through the exit of 1 and 2. He's going to take away Molnix's line. This is not the corner to power out. You have to get side by side. You got to be gentle with it. You'll probably see the 2 cars send it in with the brakes a little bit late here into 1. Burnz way up the racetrack here to try to get the drive off the corner. Molnix door to door as they come out of 2. It'll be a drag race down the back straightaway. Unable to complete that pass. Problems already here for the 5 team. They have fallen back about 16 seconds, 17 seconds from the lead. 5.5 back from Brent Allen. This is 14th place driver Ethan Wisnowski. We do have an onboard camera with him as well. So we'll take it on the interior of this machine and show you the struggle that Wisnowski is having here today. He's got a lot of clean air in front of him. This place so challenging, it's very easy to get far behind. And that car looking very loose here through 1 and 2. Steps out on to the right a little bit. Keeps it off the wall. But that right there is the characteristics of this racetrack. If you're too hard on the throttle every lap, eventually the right rear is going to give up. Derek McMurtry has pulled it down to the pit lane. Starting park almost for McMurtry as he is 18 laps down. Bryson Witherspoon, the last car on the racetrack, last car on the lead lap in 15th place. So it's looking like mathematically Burnz pretty much has this thing locked up. He's able to get away from Molnix, who's lost a spot to Chuck Sweeting. Maybe a mistake here from Molnix. We'll go back and find out what happened to Derek McMurtry here on the instant replay. It looked like he came down pit road. He pulled it back off, so we'll hit it one more time here. Here's the replay that we were looking for. Austin Dowdy, they make door contact. This is on lap 2. The 48 to the inside wall. Battle for the lead is heating up, though. Burnz peaks to the inside of the 199. Looks like the 2 almost into the wall here, into 3 and 4. And a mistake there from Burnz that allowed Galen Wunsch to get a good run out of turn 4 and pull back away from him. Chuck Sweeting quietly sitting back here. Oh, Burnz really loose there into the entry of 1. The sun's going down here at Homestead. The track's cooling off. Weather up on top of your screen. 89-degree track temperature, and you'll see that continue to fall as the laps continue to tick away. That sun is almost completely down. Here comes Chuck Sweeting for the second spot. Looks to the inside of Burnz. Nobody can complete a pass here in the top 5. Line just doesn't seem to be working just yet. It might be time to run that Kansas line up high to try to get a run out of the corner. Some movement on back here in the field, 7th position. Wyatt Walker falls back to 8th spot. He had actually gotten clear of Joseph Terciano earlier. The 00 of Ronnie Joyner has moved his way up to 5th spot now. Trying to chase down. He gets around all 3 of these cars. Started back in the 7th position. He had actually fallen out of back to 8th or 9th spot. So he's had his work cut out for him since the beginning of this race. A little off the pace in practice and in qualifying, but at race pace, it looks like he's a little bit quicker than he was overall, and he slowly works his way towards the top 5. Definitely could be a podium night here for the 00 when it's all said and done. Trent Wilkin looks back to the inside again of Terciano. Wyatt Walker patiently waiting to see what these guys do. Maybe just a little mistake there for Walker. Bryson Witherspoon has brought it down pit road. He is now 2 laps down in the 22 machine. There's Chris Nail. Got around the 24 of Quentin Stewart, up 6 spots. He works his way through this field. Chris Nail in the 20 machine. Showed a lot of speed this season. Just not able to put it all together at some of these tracks. Got caught up in some other business. But looking like a solid day as we went caution-free for 28 laps. And back up front, it's back to side-by-side for second, just behind your race leader. Galen Wunsch has led every single lap thus far. He's about to lead lap number 28. He's kept the 97 and the 75 at bay. Playing the defensive strategy here as they come off of turn 4. Highline is prevailing now as they come through 1 and 2. High side does work well enough for Burnz to continue to stay in 2nd spot, but he has not gained very much on Galen Wunsch. I think Chuck Sweeting might be pushing that 97 a little earlier than he wants to go. Can he catch him in time here? Are we going to work pit road? Green flag pit stops very much on the table right now as these guys have spread out from end to end. 19 seconds. Back to Ethan Wisnowski. And some more side-by-side for second position. Chuck Sweeting all over Jeremy Burnz every time they come through 1 and 2. Sweeting sticking with that inside line here. He gets the drive into the corner. He's definitely saving his tires running that bottom, but right here, this is where he can't quite exit the corner the way he wants to. He has plenty of room to come up there a little higher if he wants to. Right now, I think it's just a matter of getting comfortable, seeing where the weakness is in this line, and save the tires for as long as he can. 97 really loose coming out of turn 4. This could be the opportunity for Chuck Sweeting to pick up the spot. Daniel Wonex has worked his way back close to this group. Remember, the two had fallen back almost a full second from this pack. He's slowly creeping his way back up here as well. So through your field right now, it's Galen Wunsch, who's led every single lap. Started on the pole, 32 laps led as he comes across the stripe. Just behind him, it's Jeremy Burnz in the 97. He has Chuck Sweeting trying to take away that spot continuously here for about the past 10 laps or so. Sweeting is actually going to work his nose just past the set 97, but not going to clear coming out of turn 2, and he'll get back to the 3rd spot. So we'll get a shout here. Who started in 4th, slowly letting the 2 of Daniel Molnex in the 4th position work his way back up here on that high line. And then it's side by side again for Chuck Sweeting. Will he clear this time through? It looks like he will. Could work a slide job here. Galen Wunsch almost into the wall. So this could be a 2-for-1 special here for the 75. He'll get to the inside. Three-way battle for the lead. Sweeting to the bottom. To the outside for the 97. Galen Wunsch still holding defense. But they're going to go side by side here through 3 and 4. Change for the lead there briefly. Sweeting back down to the bottom again. Almost up into the wall for Galen Wunsch. Here comes Sweeting to take over the lead on lap 35. And Jeremy Burnz down pit road. Still side by side for the lead. Sweeting gets a lap lead. He will now clear the 199 and take over the point. Slide job out of turn 2. Not quite. He was clear for a moment. Ronnie Joyner in the 00 also coming down pit road. Math isn't quite mathing for me, but these guys maybe a little early down for pit stops. Wunsch gets a heck of a run out of turn 4, even with the car stepping out on him. He's going to take back the lead on lap 37. Chuck Sweeting just can't get by the 199, even though he made a couple mistakes there. There he is able to clear. The 199 actually almost got into the wall. Wunsch backs up the spot there and lets the 75 in. And Daniel Molnex just sitting back, idly waiting for one of these two cars to make a huge mistake. But he did catch back up to him running that high line. And that proves right there that after about 20 laps or so, the high groove is where you want to be. Austin Dowdy down and away. Ethan Wisnowski also back out onto the racetrack. Dowdy cycling through. Looks like he'll be in the top 10 or close to it here after these pit stops. In our first round of green flag pit stops here today, we'll probably see 2 of them based off these guys coming in this early. It'll be about 40 laps on the stint here for Chuck Sweeting, Galen Wunsch, Daniel Molnex. 97 back out there on the racetrack. He's going to get his lap back now. Burnz to the high line. You have to wonder if these guys are staying out a little bit too long, if they're going to allow that 97 to take over the point. Here comes Chuck Sweeting down pit road. That gives the lead back to the 199. Uncontested as of right now. Molnex within 4/10. Big run down the backstretch for the two. Running the bottom through 3 and 4. It looks like the 2 is going to come down pit road. Wunsch a little bit loose and wide on the entry, but he gets it woed up, I think, just in time here. So pit stops for Venom Motorsports. Trenton Wilkin will take over the point on lap 40. Still 4 cars that need to pick. Quentin Stewart, Wyatt Walker, Daniel Molnex comes down pit road. Mike Petrin also hitting the pit road. So 3 cars left. And Wilkin stretching it out just a little bit further. Look for him to come down pit road this time or next time by. Season 2 finale brings out some of the best. These guys definitely putting practice time in. Wyatt Walker up to 2nd spot. Quentin Stewart into the top 3. These cars, a little bit of damage here on the 24. It looks like the right front pushed in a little bit. Looking off the back of the 24 now. Let's look at forward. He's got clean air. Talked to him pre-race there briefly, but there's Quentin Stewart on board. He is clutching this machine to try to stretch this run out. How far is he going to try to take it? Is he going to try to make this a one-stop race? Back onto the clutch pedal for the 24. Up to 2nd spot now. So he got by Trenton Wilkin, or actually Wyatt Walker, who has brought it down pit road. Jeremy Burnz with the fresh tires chasing down the front 2. Eight seconds back to the 24. Wilkin maybe on the same strategy to try to save fuel and make this a one-stop race. We'll have to go on board with him. Doesn't sound like he's really clutching it, but is taking it pretty easy on the throttle. They can stretch it to lap 60. I think they're good to go. Lap 55 to 60 would be the window. I'd try to push it as far as I could to get to that 60 mark so you can push it a little harder for the second half of this race. Especially for all the time being lost out here on these old tires. 45 laps is an eternity here at Homestead. 14.5 seconds back to Jeremy Burnz as the 12. Still out on the surface. He will not pit this time by. Stewart also still out there. Back on board with the 24. Gonna listen to the clutch pedal. Is he shutting this thing off? Not clutching it this time. Thanks for making a liar out of me, Quentin. Looks like a handful coming out of turn 2. This will give the lead over to this guy right here. He pit about 10 laps ago. And he'll cycle ahead of Chuck Sweeting, Ronnie Joyner, Daniel Molnex. Molnex is looking pretty good here in the late run. But he should be able to chase down, especially since he has about 5 lap fresher tires than Burnz and Joyner. Joyner a little bit ahead of him here by about 0.8 of a second. 00 into the top 5 here finally after starting back in 7th. And actually taking away the top 5 there before we hit pit stops. So he's kind of back to where he started before the guys started peeling off. But shaping up for possibly a podium finish here for the 00 if he can keep it going. On the momentum train, Trenton Wilkin will finally bring it down pit road here on lap 48. Was not able to stretch it out. The 24 also on pit road. They couldn't make it a one-stop race. They got close, but not enough. That hands the lead over officially to Jeremy Burnz. Coming out of turns 1 and 2, actually 3 and 4. Back on the point for the 97. Now just about halfway through this thing, you're watching the Season 2 finale here on V-Speed. We're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, sights and sounds of Homestead. Find the volume knob. We're going to get loud here for a few laps right after this.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
I just got 3 things to say. God bless our troops. God bless America. And gentlemen, start your engine!
Here live from Homestead, Miami Speedway. The Season 2 finale is at the halfway point. Jeremy Burnz is your leader currently. 1.2 seconds ahead of Chuck Sweeting. And as we come back to the action, starting to wonder what happened to this guy right here, the 199 of Galen Wunsch. When we started this cycle of green flag pit stops, was up front. He's since fallen back to the 4th spot. Ronnie Joyner, Daniel Molnick's all within range of him. Molnick's actually overtaking after the pit stops. Chuck Sweeting gained the most of all the drivers on and off pit road. Currently in the 2nd spot, chasing down Jeremy Burnz with about 4-lap pressured tires. He has that lead just under a second. But this is a perfect opportunity here as we watch the 75 of Chuck Sweeting navigate the 5 of Ethan Wisnowski. That is 10th place right there. Austin Dowdy in the background there getting a little loose coming out of turn 2. but this is the perfect chance. Debbie, I know you know where that volume knob is. I hope you have it up on the big screen and find that remote control. But let's get loud here on V-Speed for a few laps and have the sights and sounds of Homestead in our ears here on V-Speed. Chuck Sweeney takes over the lead, goes by Jeremy Burnz. But we're guaranteed one more green flag pit stop. The furthest that anyone stretched this run was 48 laps between Quentin Stewart and Trenton Wilkin. They will not be able to make it in one stop. They will have the freshest tires on the racetrack, though. Pretty big advantage in the later part of this run. Trenton Wilkin chasing down to the top 5. He is about a second faster than some of these cars up here in the top 5, so we'll look to see the 12 and the 24 work their way back up through this field. You see Quentin Stewart one lap down, and he should be able to get back up there. He lost a lot of time, though, trying to clutch and drive that car as easy as he could, so I don't know if overall that will help or hurt what the 2014 was trying to do today. Here's Daniel Wonex, who's catching up. 5 lap fresher tires, 1 lap fresher tires than Chuck Sweeting, but 5 laps on Jeremy Burnz. And Daniel Wonex is catching up. He navigates the 5 of Wisnowski to the inside. Back on board here. Shows some emotion, Daniel. Throw the hands up. Having a good time here, riding on board. Looks like Daniel probably stands to gain, at least on the 97. Last time by, 0.2 faster than Jeremy Burnz. So it looks like Daniel probably going to be in the second position, but whether or not he can catch up to Chuck Sweeting, they're on pretty even sets here. Last time by, running pretty identical lap times. Chuck Sweeting in the clean air now. Setting sail at Homestead on lap 62. He might stand to gain the most laps led, but we have one more set of pit stops, like I said just a moment ago. And these guys will have to come back down pit road and be absolutely perfect on the execution. Very difficult in this Gen 4 car to get it slowed up. It has a bigger engine, but it still has the same brakes as the ARCA car. Unfortunately, a little bit more torque and horsepower doesn't work well for the same size rotor and caliper. This car is very difficult, extra weight because of that bigger engine. The tires definitely burn off of this car a lot easier. So it's just a dangerous combination to come down pit road with. Joseph Terciano in the 14, running at 6th spot right now is Trenton Wilkin just behind him. Wilkin on about 13 lap fresher tires, catching up to him pretty quickly. Last time by, almost a full second quicker. 35.7 for Terciano, a high 7. There's a 35.1. Trenton Wilkin ran a 34.4. He is there, looking to the inside now. Trenton Wilkin back to 6th spot. Brent Allen making an attempt here on the outside. Wyatt Walker down to the bottom. He will get by coming out of turn 2, so up to 8th spot now for the 85. We saw Wyatt Walker up in the top 5 to start this race out. on a little bit different strategy than the guys around him. A lot fresher tires as he'll chase down Joseph Terciano as well. Probably going to be in the 7th spot here momentarily. A couple cars in front of him also on older tires. You got Ronnie Joyner up there in 5th spot. He's about 9 seconds ahead of these two cars. But there's Wilkin and Terciano. Walker, there's Brent Allen falling back a little bit. And then there's Mike Petrin rounding out your top 10 here today. Started in 12th. Solid day here for the 60. One car out of the race, it's Chris Nail, and we'll have to go back on the session events to find out what happened. Actually, a couple things that we need to recap here. Galen Wunsch coming out of pit road. This is what happened to the 199. This is why he lost so much time. He was spinning the tires, and we got him coming back out on the racetrack here. Can't find any information really on what happened to the 20 machine. Go back to the live shot here as I try to look that up. Trying to find Chris Nail on the list here. Not seeing anything in my notes, session events, so whatever it was, must have been pretty bad there. We'll go back to the action. Chuck Sweeting, Daniel Wolnix gets by Jeremy Burnz, and it looks like Galen Wunsch also on the way. This is what happened to Jeremy. He came down pit road about 38, 39 laps into the run. Now on 33 laps on this stint. So it's a kind of a tight window here for where Jeremy wants to pit. Does he want to stretch this out like we saw previously with a few of these other guys to get back on even tires with the guys in front of him? Because hitting that early for the 97 is definitely the reason that he has fallen off back to 3rd. Race continues to stay green. 40 laps to go. 40 and a half as Chuck Sweeting has checked out. Sayonara for the rest of the field. 3.2 seconds. That slowly dwindles down, but I don't know if it'll be enough. Last time around, Sweeting just a little bit quicker than the rest of the field. 34.852. Galen Wunsch is the only car close to that lap time with a 34.998. He is catching Jeremy Burnz for the 2nd spot. Daniel Wolnix has come down pit road, it looks like. So the 2 car with 40 laps to go. He's going to short pit these guys on the other end of the strategy now. Stretched it out pretty far. This time a little bit of a shortcut. The undercut for the 2. Here comes Chuck Sweeting. He saw it in his relative. He'll come down pit road. Burnz going to stay out, and I predicted this for him to get back on this strategy. Question is now, will he have enough time? Looks like pit stops here for the 97 as well. Laps completed here. Ronnie Joyner, 72 rather. Ronnie Joyner takes over the lead. Trenton Wilkin 6.5 back. There's the 24, Quentin Stewart, who stretched the run out pretty far. He's in 13th, 2 laps down. Heavy damage on the right front of that machine, trying to salvage the day. Still not any news on what happened to Chris Nail here in the 20 car. Derek McMurtry, we saw, had problems at the very beginning of this race. There's Wilkin in second position. Still a handful of cars yet to come down pit road. You have Joyner, Wilkin, Walker, Petrin, Wisnowski, and Dowdy still out there on the racetrack. Stewart, 24 laps on this, and Bryson Witherspoon, 11 laps down here for the 22. We cycle through. Petrin gets sideways right in front of your leader and doesn't allow the Double Zero. Had to cut the nose off to come down pit road. We'll have to go back on the instant replay here. This looks like a little mistake here from Petrin trying to get to the pits. And that's a tight window. Let's back that up one more time. Will it fit? Will it fit? Yes, it will. Just barely there for Ronnie Joyner. Back out onto the racetrack now for the Double Zero. Trent Wilkin, your leader. 28 laps here on the stint. Wyatt Walker on the front stretch. Second spot for the 85. Hasn't quite got a lap led. This could be the chance for him here. If Trent Wilkin comes down within the next lap or two, Walker has plenty of fuel he can run. Another 7 laps or so. Make it to the end of this thing. Chuck Sweeting hitting a lap right after Daniel Molnex on and off pit road. He is 3.5 seconds ahead of the two. And it looks like he has the car to beat right now. We saw Jeremy Burnz also peel it down pit road, but he lost a ton of time. Even though he's on fresher tires, I don't know that if he can make up this time or not. He is 12.5 seconds away. Actually, subtract 4 seconds from that, so about 6.5 from Chuck Sweeting. Less than 30 to go here very soon. I don't know if there's enough time. 33 laps left. Last time through, Burnz a 10th faster. Car's very, very spread out here. But we've cycled through with Austin Dowdy. Ethan Wisnowski coming down to pit road. Down and away for the 8 and the 5. Out of the pits. Back out onto the race surface. That'll conclude our second round of green flag pit stops on lap 79. Chuck Sweeting, your leader. We're going to take another quick commercial break here. Uninterrupted coverage of the remaining 30 laps here from QSR in the chase for the Cup. You're watching V-Speed.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. visit iRacing.com.
I just got three things to say. God bless our troops. God bless America. And gentlemen, start your engine!
Back here live from Homestead, we have about 25 laps remaining. Galen Wunsch has caught up to Jeremy Burnz. He's under half a second behind the 97. Looks like a top 3 day for Jeremy Burnz here as we're starting to run out of time. 7 seconds back from your lead and 2.5 back from Daniel Molnix, who is navigating some lap traffic here with the 85 of Wyatt Walker, the 14 of Joseph Terciano. As it all cycles through, 7 cars remain on the lead lap. Back to Brent Allen, who's at threat of going a lap down here momentarily. He's side by side with Austin Dowdy, right in front of your leader. Dowdy dives to the inside. The 8 machine is actually 1 lap down already. Not for position with the 11th spot here for the 8 car. There's Quentin Stewart just in front of him in 13th, so quite a few shuffling around for track gain, but not position. On board with Chuck Sweeting. You know, it's never an easy feeling to have lap traffic in front of you, especially when they start hitting side by side. Then you look back here off the rear end of the 75 car, and Daniel Molnix isn't even in the same turn yet. 2 car just now getting to the entry of turn 2. 5.6 seconds. Burnz shaves off a little bit more time. He's got it down to just 2 seconds now. But as we look to crown a champion, points going to come back up on your screen here momentarily. Burnz mathematically had this thing locked up. Not enough cars here today on the racetrack, with only 17 starting this race. 22-point lead. Molnix will get ahead. Oh, the 14 of Terciano, very sideways coming out of the corner there. Back that up on the instant replay. Terciano trying to chase up the racetrack out into the outside wall right in front of Burnz. .9 seconds with 20 to go. Back on board with Jeremy Burnz. Unofficially, the champion. Defending champion. We can officially say that. For season 1. It looks like he's going to get another one locked up here after tonight. So it's Sweeting, Molnix, Burnz, Lunch, and Joyner, the top 5. We go back here to Trenton Wilkin. He is 6.5 back from Joyner in the 6th spot. And then it's Brent Allen, Wyatt Walker, Joseph Terciano, and Ethan Wisnowski for the top 10. Last car on the lead lap is Trenton Wilkin, as Brent Allen has officially went 1 lap down as well. Sweeting goes by on lap 91 to get him a lap down. And here we begin lap 92. Coming out of turn 2. Coming up on that 10 to go mark. Sweeting loves caution-free racing. Proving it right here that he can work the strategy, get on and off pit road. A lot of sideways cars in front of him, though. He's going to have to be careful. Molnix still keeping the 97 at bay, but not for long. I mean, it's going to be close here. Burnz is about a 10th faster a lap. He is trimming that time down. Good car around, I believe. Can't quite find who that was. Let's go back on the instant replay. Oh, this was contact with Terciano and Galen Wunsch. This is on the front stretch. 14 gets sent down to the inside. We'll back it up one more time. He's sideways up here next to the wall. It's Galen Wunsch coming by on the inside from 4th position, right across the nose. Naps it free, inside wall. Fortunately, that gets Galen Wunsch some damage here. The hopes of catching up to Jeremy Burnz smolder away. Battle shapes up here for 2nd position. Jeremy Burnz under a second behind now of Daniel Molnix. They're both about 7+ to Sweeting. Chuck with the clean air has, just checked out. No chance unless we get a caution. At 75, almost had a yellow there with the 14 on the inside of the front stretch. We will stay clean and green since the beginning of this race. Race recap up on your screen. 12 lead changes and 0 cautions. We mentioned it earlier that the track was going to change. Well, there it is. It's only went down 1 degree, but the air temperature has fallen as well. So this track has cooled off a little bit as this race has progressed. Molnix holding on here. Closest battle on the racetrack is for the 2nd position of just 9/10 of a second. Ethan Wisnowski catching up to Joseph Terciano. Terciano with that heavy damage. Looks like Wisnowski stands to gain a position from this. On board with the 5. 6/10 of a second separating him. 6/10 separates 2nd and 3rd as well. Big gain here for Wisnowski. Gets a little loose coming out of turn 4, but still gaining some ground on the 14. Up on the high line here. Through 1 and 2. Sideways there for Terciano, and a big run here for the 5. Wisnowski all but clear. Another spot gain for the 5 car. Coming into the closing laps. Second position up for grabs. Jeremy Burnz has caught up to Daniel Monex. We'll see 10 to go here. Next time by. Catching up to him's one thing, passing him's going to be another. 10 to go as they cross the stripe. 97 trying a little bit different line here through 3 and 4. Doesn't seem like it worked there too well. He lost a little bit of time that time around. And now back on the offensive. Pushing it here through 1 and 2. If I was the 2 of Monex, I'd do whatever I could to make sure that you can keep that 97 off of his line. Runs it out wide here through 3 and 4. Gonna hold on to the position for another lap. Sweeting pulling away. Now 8.5 seconds. Second position, side by side through 1 and 2. Burnz, your points leader, trying to get by Daniel Monex, who's second in points. Take that lead even further to finish out the season. Defending champion on your screen. About to be 2 in a row. All he has to do is bring it home here. And Jeremy Burnz could be your QSR Chase for the Cup Season 2 champion. Gets just the nose advantage over Daniel Monex down the backstretch. But into 3. A pinch down here in the corner. He's going to take that line away. Monex working it smart. Keeps the 97 on his toes. A little sideways there. And Burnz has to fall back in line. Might have showed the hand a little too early. They'll be back on the rear bumper again here as they go through 1 and 2. Runs it out wide again here through 3 and 4. Want to hold it up there on the outside. Burnz cannot get by on the inside this time. Austin Dowdy has caught up to Joseph Terciano. Could be a top 10 day here for the 8 car. To the outside for Terciano, side by side out of 3 and 4. Car in the wall there. 14 makes a mistake into the entry of 1, and Austin Dowdy is going to get by. 3 wide behind him. Terciano in the wall again. Terciano down the backstretch, almost loses it. 5 laps left, and Chuck Sweeting has the lead. Going to come by for 4 to go. Daniel Monex still holding off. Jeremy Burnz for second. Monex has turned the lights down in the room. No distractions here, fully locked in. with Jeremy Burnz as he tries to work by. For the past 10 laps, hasn't been able to do it. 3 to go. 3 more opportunities to get by. Here's one of them. He's getting a good run, but he can't keep the throttle down. Makes a little mistake there. Loses a ton of time. He'll get 2 to go. Can he charge back up there? Chuck Sweeting in this race has been perfect. Executed pit road, on and off, put the strategy to put himself up here in the lead, had the pace to start this race out, qualified in 4th. He'll come out of turns 3 and 4 for the white flag. Chuck Sweeting, this time by your leader. And it looks like Chuck Sweeting is going to get a victory. Last week, just shy. Las Vegas was kind to him, but second and runner-up. Tonight, no Dakota Floyd on the racetrack. Chuck Sweeting comes out of turns 3 and 4 for the final time here in the final time of the season. Maybe his 4th or 5th start here in the QSR Simulations chase for the Cup. It will be Chuck Sweeting. He is victorious here today from Homestead. Down the front stretch, though, the guy that everybody was talking about coming into this race, Jeremy Burnz, will be the Season 2 champion. Post-race interviews with your top 3, and we're going to snag that championship driver as well. Congratulations to all these guys on another successful season. It's Jeremy Burnz brings it around for the victory lap. You're watching QSR Simulations Chase for the Cup live on V-Speed. We'll be back right after this.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Back here live from Homestead, the QSR Simulations Chase for the Cup has concluded. It's 110 laps here from Homestead. Caution-free here tonight with over 12 lead changes. Final results up on your screen. It's Chuck Sweeting in his first ever victory here at QSR. 75 car started in 4th spot. He led the remaining 50 laps of this race. Daniel Monex will come home in 2nd, holding off Jeremy Burnz in 3rd. Those two back and forth all day long. Galen Wunsch had some damage from a lap down car. Joseph Terciano got loose out of turn 4, but that cost Wunsch a lot of time. He'll finish 4th after leading a lot of the beginning of this race and starting on the pole. Ronnie Joyner, a top 5 day. Top 5 in the points for him as well. Britton Wilkin will finish in 6th. 7th will go to Wyatt Walker. 8th spot, Brent Allen. Ethan Wisnowski, a top 10 day for the 5. And Austin Dowdy, a top 10 for him after starting in 10th as well. Mike Petrin will finish in 11th with Joseph Terciano in 12th. Quentin Stewart, 13th here today. Bryson Witherspoon, 14th. Chris Nail, unfortunate DNF here for him tonight in 15th. Derek McMurchie, 16th position, and Steve Mago will finish 17th. So that brings us to our track side. We have a few drivers to bring into the booth. First one up here, well, it's going to be your 3rd place finisher and champion, Jeremy Burnz. First off, Jeremy, I got to say congratulations on the championship. You were the defending champ coming into this season. You had your work cut out for you, though. Last season, you started out with a few guys that were competing with you, and there was some competition. But this season, it seemed like Daniel Monex, Ronnie Joyner never went away. Were you worried about that to start this thing out? And how great was it to say that, you're able to do it again this time around?
Well, the competition in this league is incredible. Chuck Sweden there, Molnix, Joyner. There are so many others that I can name here. Truciano was up there a lot. Wilkins, all of them guys were really good this season, and they were very consistent as well, right? Which made it super hard, super difficult. But there were a couple races there in the playoffs in the chase that really defined it. Richmond was one of them. We were all up there battling for a position there, and I kind of go back to that to where I got the points gap to be able to finish behind Molnix there in the past couple races and really secure the championship. But really excited for it, man. It's gonna be awesome. Going back to back in A series is difficult, especially when you got guys coming in that are just getting better and better week in and week out. So huge shout out to them, and huge shout out to everybody watching tonight, because that this is going to be an awesome night, and this is just capping off a great week, really.
Well, I know coming into this race, mathematically, you were pretty secure. There wasn't quite enough cars, but last week, it was still a toss-up. I mean, you guys were close all the way through the season, and Molnix, got the string of wins together where, you had races like Darlington and Dover and such that, you just kind of went out and salvaged the day. Were you starting to get a little worried there towards the end of the season that maybe this thing was getting away from you?
I mean, at the end of the day, consistency is key, right? So knocking off any top 5 is going to get you a good points day. And Molnix there just had a couple of just unfortunate breaks during the season there to have him back there in the regular season, because I got a couple more points than him, I think, entering the playoffs. So just capitalizing during the regular season and just taking it through the playoffs there and just trying to get as much as we could any place that we went, whether that was points for leading the lap, whether that was the points for a pole, whatever it was, right? You're always trying to grab more points. It's like that game, Hungry Hungry Hippos, where you're just trying to grab as many points as you can. So we were fortunate enough to dodge some of the breaks that unfortunately Molnix and Joyner got caught up in. But just I'm so happy, man. It's crazy to believe, or crazy to think that we've gone back to back. Coming into the season, I knew that I had my work cut out for me. Molnix and Joyner were looking to get my number, so just I couldn't be more ecstatic about it. So proud of the guys, so proud of the admin crew that we have over here at QSR. They do an amazing job week in and week out controlling the races and putting up a lot of sessions for us to practice and get better. So gotta give them a huge shout out, and we're gonna enjoy the off season, that's for sure.
Jeremy Burnz, congratulations again here from everybody at QSR and from V Speed. There's a big list of people. I see Debbie right now. I know G-Mob probably watching as well. Just go ahead and thank him while you're up here.
Yeah, well, first I want to give a huge shout out to Chuck Sweden there. I don't want his win to go unrecognized. He's been incredibly fast all season, so huge shout out to him. Huge shout out to Molnix there because it's kind of a me versus him for this race, and it's just been an incredible battle all season. That battle is what makes me so excited right now because I know what I have accomplished, by defeating him, and you know, needless to say, he got my number a lot this season, so it feels good to finally get the trophy at the end of the season. But got to shout out my mom, my dad, Josie, Dylan, Coach P, Sonny, my grandma, Miss Betsy, of course, for their continued support for any league that I do. Julie, Derek, Caroline, Shannon, Belinda, Betty, any of the supporters of the league. Like I said, huge shout out to Butt Kicker and any of the other sponsors that sponsored the league this year. Huge shout out to the admins and anyone else who made this possible. This league was an amazing season, so really happy to be a part of it, and really happy to be hoisting that championship trophy at the end of it.
Well, there he is, Season 2 champion, Jeremy Burnz. Congratulations. I'm sure we'll be talking to you over at Racing Revolution as well here on V-Speed, but thank you for your time, and we look forward to another season here at QSR with you.
Yes, sir, and huge shout out to you guys as well over here at V-Speed because y'all do a phenomenal job.
Appreciate that very much. A lot of work going into it, but hey, it's nothing without you guys out there on the racetrack. We would just be talking. So thank you for putting on a great show this season and making it worthwhile for us to put it on.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
Jeremy Burnz, third place here tonight, but first overall in the points. He will be victorious overall in Season 2. Let's bring Daniel Molnex up, the guy that was battling with that 97 all night long. You bested him in track position, but here tonight, mathematically, it was a tall task. I don't even know if it was possible. But Daniel, you put together a string of wins here to put yourself even in the hunt, and you were the only driver that mathematically had a chance.
Yeah. I didn't hear all of what you were saying. I don't know if it was Discord or whatever, but yeah, I mean, all you can ask for is a chance. I knew at Richmond when I got caught up in that wreck at the end and it put us way behind. I knew it was an uphill battle from there. So I did everything I could at Charlotte, did everything I could here, and I think I made up a few points, but at the end of the day, it wasn't enough.
Well, you strung together that season there. It was just, we could go back and talk about the tough breaks. And Jeremy even mentioned them, that there was just one or two moments this season that had they not happened, you probably would have came in here tonight with a pretty secure lead.
Yeah, it seemed like it was, when I ran good, I ran really good, but all it takes is, just a few bad races, especially, the postseason with how tight the points are. Jeremy put together, 4 good races, and like I say, I had that one slip up at Richmond, and that's, kind of what sealed the deal for him. I needed to put as many cars between me and him tonight as I could, and shoot, man, I couldn't even get to the lead. Homestead is not one of my favorite tracks. It's a fun one, but it's definitely not one that I would consider myself good at. But yeah, I mean, and I'm not taking anything away from Jeremy. I mean, even though I had my few slip ups, I mean, he was there to capitalize on it. So, congrats to him. But at the end of the day, still, 6 wins I think on the season. I mean, that's nothing to complain about. So, you do what you can do, and he ran good at the right time of the year, and I just had 1 or 2 or 3 slip ups, and yeah, it was kind of the difference.
Well, I mean, on a fantasy team, I would take those odds every day of the week. When you get 6 wins in a 15 race season, that's pretty solid numbers there, Daniel. So hold your head high. Congratulations on the second place here in both the points and in this race tonight. While we have you one last time up here in the booth, is there anybody you want to shout out?
You guys, I mean, y'all work hard all season putting this on. I know last week everybody was all ready to go and get it over with, but iRacing had their issues, but yeah, hats off to you guys. I know y'all work hard. But in motorsports, we work hard week in, week out, to get not just one, but everybody up near the front. And QSR, Quentin, all the admins, these guys, I don't know how many cautions we had on the season, but I would say it was relatively low for 15 races. I said it at the end of last season, and I'll say it again this season. These guys race clean week in, week out with a lot of respect. You can't really ask for anything better than that.
Yeah, the average was sitting somewhere around 2.5 there coming into the chase format. So I think that even went lower after tonight running caution free. So well done to all you guys, and Daniel, a great season. It's just those couple little asterisks there in the books, and I'm sure we'll clean it up. I look forward to another great season with you guys, and hopefully we'll be talking to you very soon. Probably see you on Tuesday night.
Yeah, definitely. Finish out that season, the best I can. I'm not really. I think I got about the same points deficit over there as I do here, but the points over there is a little bit different. So, but same thing over there. Do what I can do, and the points are going to fall how they're going to fall.
There you have it. Daniel Molnick, second in points, second in the race here tonight. Comes home from Homestead, ready for season 3 in the chase for the Cup. Thank you for your time, Daniel.
All right, thanks.
Finally, that brings us to our race winner and first-time winner in QSR, Chuck Sweeting in the 75. Well, I just talked to you 2 days ago, Chuck. You went runner-up at, I believe it was Las Vegas, if I remember correctly. And here you are today, picking right up where you left off. There's no Dakota Floyd out here to block you, so you just go out there and win the thing.
Yeah, it's a pretty good week. A second and a first, yeah, I'll take it. A competitive league, good clean racing. Yeah, it's an awesome night.
Well, let's go through the execution. I've raced with you before. We've seen you on V-Speed plenty of times. It seems like when these races go green, that really fits in your wheelhouse. You executed your strategy perfectly. You got on and off pit road a little bit better than everybody else. What is it about the green flag racing for you personally where you thrive?
Well, I don't know, just experience, I think, and being probably older than most of the rest of the field, I don't have that short run speed that they have, so it kind of comes back on the back end of the run, and just try to be consistent and keep those tires from getting overheated or overworn. And yeah, I could really see it at the end of each run, especially that first run when I was following those guys for a long time, and then right the last 15 laps of that run, I started picking up about a tenth on them a lap, so that was pretty cool. But yeah, just experience and trying to be consistent, and I drove really well tonight, so it paid off.
Drove an excellent race, and got some shout outs from guys who are kind of new to this league, but they're taking notice. Guys like Molnix and Burnz have definitely bared witness to the speed that you've had consistently through the season. But now it seems like you're starting to find maybe your niche, or maybe you're just getting comfortable and confident here at QSR. And we know that we can count you in for Tuesday, but after this victory here tonight, are we going to see you on Thursdays more?
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm not sure what they're going to do next season, which cars and tracks, but the plan is to be here for the whole season for every race. So I'm looking forward to it. Appreciate Quentin and everybody at QSR for putting this on and having me letting me race. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It should be a lot of fun. There's some awesome drivers, good clean drivers and racing. Yeah, I'd be foolish not to run with them.
Experience or age, whatever you want to call it, Chuck Sweeting bests them all here today in the final race at Homestead. Anybody you'd like to shout out while we got you?
Just the league. Thanks to you, Bradley, for the awesome job you do. I always watch the broadcast back, and being by yourself, it's pretty amazing what you can do. So appreciate that, and appreciate the fans for watching and supporting the league.
There it is. Chuck Sweeting victorious, looking to carry that momentum into season 3 and maybe carry it over to next week as we go to Kansas for QSR Xfinity Series. Chuck Sweeting, thank you for your time. We'll see you next time, buddy.
All right. Thanks a lot. Have a good night.
So there we go. We've archived all of it. Season 2 is over. Hope you guys enjoyed tonight's broadcast. If you did, make sure you hit that subscribe button here on V-Speed. You'll never miss a single race. We'll have QSR Xfinity Series in their final race at Kansas Speedway. Team V-Speed in the hunt for points as well. A lot of things have to go just right, but everyone mathematically very tight in the top 5. But for everybody here at QSR, Quentin Stewart, who puts this all together, the admin team here at QSR Simulations, the background here at V-Speed, Adam Baker, for all he does, making these overlays, making this stream look good, the music and all the things we put together. You know, the masterminds here. Morgan Cook, Eddie Smith, Logan Threlkeld, Christian Hill, our other producers. This is Bradley Cooper telling you so long for Season 2. We'll see you next Tuesday.